The Lululemon betrayal.
The quiet affluence of Bethesda was shattered on the morning of March 12,
The case of the Lululemon murder is a
2011.
detective's
By a crime that defied logic, a tragedy that would force detectives to confront the chilling reality of an elaborate, calculated lie.
Undone by the
A
sheer
vibrant
desperation of
30-year-old
a single
employee and yoga
catastrophic lie.
teacher.
It began in the affluent, seemingly impenetrable suburb of Bethesda, Maryland,
Whose
on the morning
life
of
was
March
extinguished
12,
in the
2011,
upscale
when a store
Lululemon
manager
Athletica
discovered
boutique.
the Lululemon Athletica boutique in utter disarray.
By a killer
Merchandise
whose
was strewn
deception
across
was as
the floor,
cold-blooded
mannequins lay
as the crime
haphazardly,
itself.
and an unsettling silence permeated the luxury store.
Did you
But it
document
was
the fractures
sounds
on the
that
display
confirmed
case?
the terror.
Yes, markers 4 through
Faint moan
7.
coming from the back,
I'm
and the
bagging the
gruesome
larger
discovery
shards
in the
now.
rear hallway.
Well,
Merchandise
There
was
lay the body
scattered.
of 30-year-old Jayna
Mannequins were
Murray,
toppled.
a beloved employee and yoga enthusiast, face down in a pool of blood.
And a
victim of an
sickening
attack
pool of
of
blood
almost
marked the back
unimaginable
hallway,
ferocity.
where Jayna Murray
Nearby,
was
in a
found
bathroom,
brutally
was her coworker,
deceased.
28-year-old Brittany
Lying
Norwood,
nearby in a
appearing
bathroom was her
semi-conscious
coworker,
and superficially
28-year-old
injured,
Brittany
with her
Norwood,
hands and feet
appearing
bound with
bruised
easily
and
detachable zip
traumatized.
ties and shoelaces. Norwood was the sole
Norwood,
survivor and the
the
central
sole
witness to
survivor,
what she
immediately
claimed
became
was
the
a
primary
savage,
source of
hours-long
information.
Smash and grab robbery turned sexual
Recounting a
assault
harrowing
and double
tale
kidnap.
that initially launched a
Part one,
massive,
the unraveling
misdirected
of the
manhunt.
alibi. Brittany Norwood's narrative was chilling.
She described the attackers using racial
She claimed that after
epithets
closing
and
the
letting
store
her
the
live.
previous night, March 11, she had realized she forgot her wallet and called Jayna back to the store at 10:05 p.m.
They said I was more fun
Once
to
inside,
fun
they were
mine.
allegedly ambushed by 2 masked men who subjected
Police
them to hours
initially
of
mobilized
torture,
all
repeated
resources
stabbings,
to
and
track
sexual
these
abuse.
phantom assailants,
Norwood's
treating Norwood
testimony,
as a
initially
traumatized
treated
victim.
as gospel, described
However,
the attackers using racial
seasoned
slurs
Montgomery
and only
County
sparing
police
her life
detectives,
because she was
guided
more fun
by
to
their
kill.
instincts.
A grotesque detail intended to paint a picture
Acknowledged.
of depraved,
and
random
an increasing
violence.
number of forensic
Police
anomalies
immediately launched
quickly
a massive
realized the
manhunt
story
for the
was
2 masked
structurally
assailants.
unsound.
Yet almost
Furthermore,
immediately,
the
seasoned
supposed
detectives
robbers had
noticed the
neglected
cracks in
valuable
the narrative,
merchandise
the
and left
telltale
usable
anomalies
cash
that screamed
untouched in the safe.
staged. The crime scene discrepancies, the binding. Norwood was found bound by zip ties on her wrists and ankles, yet they were so loose that she could
Surveillance
have easily
footage
slipped
from the
out.
adjacent
Furthermore,
Apple store showed
a sexual
employees
assault
reacting
nurse
to a
examiner
violent
found no
dispute
evidence
around
of
11
sexual
p.m.,
assault,
hours after
contradicting
closing.
her core claim of being raped and violated. The loot, the alleged robbers who supposedly spent hours inside, barely touched the high-value merchandise or the money in the register. The ransacking looked theatrical, not tactical. The footprints. Investigators
The narrative of 4
meticulously
people
tracked
engaged
bloody
in an
footprints
hours-long
throughout the
struggle
store.
was instantly nullified.
While they discovered a
The
pair
battle
of men's
was
size
internal.
14 Reebok tennis
The
shoes
forensic
used to
analysis of
create
the
large,
blood evidence
misleading
was the
tracks.
final,
They also found
unassailable
bloody
witness.
footprints belonging to both women's shoes.
Detectives
Crucially,
meticulously
the blood trail
documented
demonstrated
bloody
Jayna
footprints
Murray's
from
desperate
both women's
struggle moved
shoes across multiple areas of the
distinct
store.
The
Being a
forensic
sustained,
decimation,
chaotic,
final, devastating
and
blow
desperate
to Norwood's
pursuit.
elaborate lie came from the medical examiner's report. Jayna Murray
Crucially,
had
the
suffered an
laceration on
astonishing
Norwood's
at least
forehead
331
showed that the blood
individual
had dripped
injuries,
straight down.
far beyond what is typical in a robbery gone wrong.
The detectives
These wounds
realized
were
with a
inflicted
chilling
by at
certainty
least
that the
5
only
different
person who
weapons,
could have
including
inflicted
a
this
hammer,
massacre
a
was
box
the one
cutter,
found
a
seemingly
knife,
helpless
a
in the
merchandise
bathroom.
peg, and a rope. Many
The
of which were
question
tools
shifted
found
from
inside the
who
store's utility
to
kit.
why.
The sheer number and variety
The
of
answer
injuries
was
to her
brutally
head,
simple.
face, neck,
A test-
back,
At
and extremities
9:45 p.m. on March
indicated an
11,
explosive
following
personal
store
rage.
policy, Jayna Murray
Jayna was
checked
alive
Norwood's
for the
bag
majority
before
of
they
this
parted
prolonged,
ways.
torturous assault.
And discovered a stolen pair of
Conversely,
leggings
Brittany
and other
Norwood's
merchandise.
injuries, including a laceration on her forehead and superficial scratches on her abdomen, were determined to be minor
Jayna, a
and
woman of
consistent with
strong
being
integrity,
self-inflicted or
immediately
staged to
called a
feign
store
injury.
manager
A
to
forensic
report the
expert
theft.
noted that the blood dripping from her
Norwood,
forehead wound
realizing
had
she
fallen
was
straight
caught
down,
and facing termination in
suggesting
criminal
she had been
charges,
upright and
understood
mobile
that
for most
Jayna
of the
was the
night,
only living witness
directly
to her crime.
contradicting her claim
I must have left my
of lying
wallet inside. We have to go back.
semi-conscious on the
Okay,
floor
fine.
for hours.
Norwood used the pretext of the forgotten
Detectives now
wallet to
knew the
lure
truth.
Jayna back to the
The
store.
2 masked men were a fiction. The only person who could have inflicted this massacre
Once inside,
was the
around
surviving
10:05
victim.
p.m., the confrontation erupted. It was no quick skirmish. Forensic evidence demonstrated an explosive, prolonged
Part
struggle
2,
that raged through the
the
store
motive
for
and
over
the
20
anatomy of
minutes.
vengeance. The
Jayna,
overwhelming
fighting
forensic
desperately
and
for her life,
circumstantial
was
evidence
subjected
shifted
to
the
an attack of
investigation's
sheer
focus from a
personal
manhunt for
vindictiveness.
non-existent assailants to building the case
box
against the
cutter.
surviving coworker. The mystery of who committed the murder was solved. The question now was why.
Point A
The unraveling
merchandise
of the theft,
peg.
The motive, stripped of the layers of staged violence and lies, was shockingly mundane: shoplifting. Police discovered the true sequence of events on the night of March 11th. After the store officially closed at 9:45 p.m., Jayna Murray, following
The
store
sheer
policy,
number and variety of
conducted a
weapons and
routine bag
wounds
check on her
eliminated any
coworker.
possibility of a
She
crime of
discovered
passion.
that Brittany Norwood
This
had
was the
stolen a pair
final,
of
fatal
leggings
act was a
and
stab
other
wound to the
expensive
back of
merchandise.
Jayna's neck, severing her
Norwood
spinal
left the
cord
store.
and demonstrating an
Jayna called the
intent to
store
silence
manager
her
moments
permanently.
later to report the theft.
After the murder,
Norwood,
Norwood methodically
facing
tried to
immediate
complete the
termination and
staged
potential
scene.
criminal charges,
She used a pair of men's
realized
size
she was
14
caught.
tennis shoes.
She
This
moved
moment
Jayna's
was
car
the
several
lethal
blocks
trigger.
away to suggest
Norwood
an
called
external
Jayna and
perpetrator.
convinced her to meet back at the store under the pretense of retrieving her
Crucially,
forgotten
analysis of her mobile phone showed it was
Once the two
active
women
after
were
the
alone
murder,
again at
further
10:05
debunking her
p.m.,
claim
the
of being
confrontation over the
incapacitated
theft
for hours.
exploded into a frenzy of violence.
This orchestration,
For Brittany Norwood,
the variety of
the immediate
weapons,
threat
the
to her
meticulous
reputation
staging,
and freedom
the car removal,
superseded the
demonstrated
value
the
of her
essential.
coworker's life.
The guilty
The trial,
verdict reached by
a
the
narrative
jury
of
in
rage and
January
deceit.
2012 was swift
During the
and
trial,
decisive.
prosecutors presented
Brittany
a time
Norwood
part
was
3,
the judgment was a
societal
legal
fallout
closure,
and the
but
betrayed
the
legacy
emotional
extension.
scars and the wider
The
social
jury's
issues
swift,
exposed
decisive verdict,
remained
sentencing
painfully
Brittany
wrong.
Norwood to life
Court
in
finds
prison
in
without
favor
the
of the
possibility
defendant
of
on all
parole,
counts.
closed the legal chapter of the Lululemon
I feel
murder,
sick,
but
but
the
at least
profound
it's finally
psychological
over.
and societal aftershocks
Her
lingered.
use of a sexual assault
case became a
narrative to
true
cover
crime
her tracks
phenomenon,
was
not
deemed
just
an
for its
unforgivable
brutality, but
insult
because it
to
exposed
genuine
alarming
victims.
vulnerabilities
The
in
elaborate
workplace
fabrication
security
presented by the
and the
suspect
chilling ease
successfully
with which a
derailed the police
sophisticated
effort,
false flag
leaving the
operation
detectives
could
visibly
be mounted.
frustrated and bewildered.
The forensic evidence
Public outrage
clearly
in
indicates
Norwood's
blunt
pathology.
force trauma
Public
occurred prior
outrage
to
was
the
immense,
fire.
especially
We
in
estimate the
tight-knit,
time of impact
high-security
at approximately
community
11
of Bethesda.
p.m.
The disgust focused not only on the act of murder, but on the cold, calculating deceit that followed. Norwood's fabricated story of sexual abuse and torture.
Her
was
memory
viewed as
was
a
honored through the
contemptible
establishment
exploitation
of the
genuine
Jayna
trauma.
Murray Foundation,
For almost a
dedicated
week,
to supporting
local law
education
enforcement
and
the community
communities.
were consumed by the fear
The
of two
Lululemon Corporation
non-existent
was
violent
forced into a
predators.
painful
The
reevaluation
relief
of
at
its
her
security
arrest was tempered
protocols.
by anger over the wasted resources and the profound sense of betrayal. During
The
the
case
sentencing
served as a
phase,
chilling
Norwood
catalyst
finally
for the
spoke,
retail
offering
industry.
an apology and
We should
expressing
adjust the
remorse.
sensor sensitivity on this panel
However,
before we
this
lock up.
expression was immediately
and ensure the camera
challenged
covers
by
the main aisle
prosecution.
properly.
State's Attorney John
The
McCarthy
necessity of robust
characterized
surveillance
Norwood
cannot
as a
be overstated.
pathological liar
Without these
who failed
systems,
to take
we leave
genuine
ourselves vulnerable
responsibility
to evolving
for the sheer
threats.
brutality of her actions. Her persistent refusal to fully admit that the motive was the theft of merchandise, and her continued reliance on elements of
State's
the staged
Attorney John
narrative
McCarthy's
until the bitter
designation
end
of her as a
cemented the
pathological
court's view
liar
that she
solidified the court's
represented an
judgment that she was
unrehabilitated
beyond
danger,
rehabilitation.
justifying
The
the
Lululemon
maximum
murder
sentence.
remains a grim,
The
essential
legacy of Jayna
narrative
Murray
in
in
modern
corporate accountability.
TRUECRIME
Jayna Murray,
history.
came to symbolize
And Brittany
integrity
Norwood,
and dedication.
who lost her
Her
humanity
death,
over stolen
stemming
merchandise.
From her commitment to upholding company rules, spurred her family and friends to establish the Jayna Murray Foundation, focusing on education, health, and community. A tribute that ensured her positive influence outlived the tragedy. For the Lululemon brand, the murder was a
Societal
public
fallout
relations disaster
and the betrayed
that
legacy.
necessitated serious security introspection. The murder exposed a critical vulnerability in retail safety protocols. 2 employees alone after hours, particularly one called back after an alarm should have been fully set. The incident instigated a broader, industry-wide discussion on enhanced security protocols, reevaluating bag check policies, secure closing procedures, and the installation of comprehensive surveillance cameras inside and outside retail spaces. Employee training, boosting training on conflict de-escalation, identifying internal theft risks, and procedures for handling confrontational situations safely. Emergency callback protocols, tightening rules governing when and how employees are permitted to return to the premises after closing to eliminate security gaps like the one Norwood exploited. The Lululemon murder is permanently etched into the annals of TRUECRIME history, a stark reminder that often the most complex and horrifying crimes are driven not by grand external conspiracies, but by the darkness and desperation found within the most trusted circle. It is the story of Jayna Murray, who died for her integrity, and Brittany Norwood, who extinguished a life to conceal a lie about a pair of leggings.